I'd like to thank everyone for coming to our council meeting. I'd ask you to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Russell. Peters.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Hayes.
Present.
Hitt.
Here.
Blazer.
Here.
Smith.
Okay, we are missing two members. We'll have Anthony Smith will be here within the next few minutes, but Brenda Russell will not be here this evening. On to our minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes with the change to add the executive session? All right, all in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes carry. All right, communications and announcements. We do have a request here from the mayor to appoint David Mars to the Historic Downtown Revitalization District. Anyone have any discussion or questions of adding Dave Mars? All right, all in favor of approving that appointment? Aye?
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. Okay. Dave Mars, that is approved. Okay, audience concerns. We do have one audience concern this evening. We have Kevin Garverick. If you could please come to the podium and state your name and your address, and you do have 5 minutes, please.
It's Kevin Garverick, 106 North Madison. Got a concern about the flooding in our basements again. It's getting worse. It's happening more often. It's coming in through the city sewer line, comes up into my basement, and I'm pumping 5 to 6 inches of sewer water out of my basement. We were on vacation this time when it happened, so it was there, and the water had gone back down about 2 days before we got home. So fun coming back from vacation. We've had this before. The city cambered the lines and figured out that the lines were collapsed or they weren't solid underneath the football field over off of 42 there. I don't know what the problem is now. I know we've had a lot more water coming up from the creeks, where the creeks are coming up higher, where the water doesn't seem to be leaving London as fast as it used to. The manhole covers across the street on North Madison, be on the south side. They are out in the field there, and when the water comes up, the water goes into those, and then I've got water coming in my basement. I've got 5 neighbors that had water in their basement this time, all on North Madison. I'm not sure about, usually we have that on North Oak if it's in ours. So what I'm asking for is try to figure out why it's having that. Also, I've got a lot of stuff I have to throw away from the basement that's damaged from sewage. I'm asking that there's no fee for me to throw my trash out for the next 2 weeks, for like an added pickup for the stuff that I have to throw away. And do you have anything, do you have some other information?
Just that this isn't the first.
Yeah, this isn't the
We're not
first
just
time.
saying, oh, hey, it rained this time. It's happened several other times here in the last, like, 3
It's
years.
it's been a once a year thing now. Over
So
the
about
last
every
3
time
years.
we get the 4 to
We get
5
a real-
inches in
we get a
one
good rain.
rainfall, is that when you get the flooding?
It floods the field across the street, and it goes into the sewer lines over there, and then we've got it back in my basement.
Yeah, unfortunately, once those creeks start to rise, our storm sewers, they can't push the water, and so it's just gonna come up. One thing I would suggest, maybe in your basement, get you a backflow,
But also this is a, I'm sorry.
no, backflow so that,
Valve, Billy.
yeah, backflow valve, so that way it won't come up through your basement. It'll push up and that water won't be able to come up.
I'll comment on that. I used to live on Westmore, just right down the road. Same exact thing. When we had flooding and that creek rose up to a certain point where it stopped letting the storm sewer water lines disperse, it caused backups all the way up the system. I got flooded in the basement every time. I did what Josh said. It stopped it. Now, just a word of advice, because this is what I did later, is you don't want to take showers and flush the toilets too many times once it stops, because it won't let it out either. But it does stop it from coming in. I would recommend looking into that as a help. It did help me in my
So one of the
situation.
other things I've been told is to raise my sewer line up and run it around the outside of the house instead of under the basement floor, which is where the house was built. But for that, then I have to have a tap fee to tap back into the city sewer line.
Yeah, I've never heard that one.
I've never heard that.
We've heard a lot of different things over the years.
Yeah.
I had a neighbor that did it to his around on Fifth Street, and he had to pay a tap fee to reconnect into the sewer
Yeah,
line.
once you
because he
connect
disconnected
again.
and then reconnected into it.
Yeah, but I can tell you what Josh is talking about, the backflow preventer, that's actually in our code now. So if somebody builds a new house, that has to be built into the new house, because we are a very flat area that likes to flood. And then, like I said, you know, when you get 5.5, 6 inches of rain in 5 hours, it breaks the banks of the creek, and then the pipe that is dispersing the water is then covered and cannot, and there's nowhere for it to go. And I can tell you, this isn't falling on deaf ears. This is something that when I came into office and a lot of these guys came into office, it was a big issue, and we have an aging infrastructure. And, you know, I would say we've spent more money in the past 5 years than we did 20 years before on storm sewer, and trying to figure out and start working on problem areas to try to get it going.
Because this isn't storm sewer water we're getting city sewage water.
Yeah, I understand,
Oh,
but that's
okay.
why you're getting that, is
Okay.
because of the storm sewer itself.
Yeah.
There's the storm water. So, you know, we just went and drove around the other day and are trying to figure out different ways, because what happens is it all goes to the south side, right? And that's where it all kind of disperses. So we're gonna start trying to backtrack ourselves to where we can get it flowing better down there, which will then help everything flow to that area. And we have a couple ideas that we're talking to the law director about right now. One of them is kind of a quick fix in a way, to try to alleviate some of that. And then the other one is a very large, extensive project where we feel that if we could get this done, that it's gonna help alleviate a lot of this. Another thing is that, you know, they like to call them 100-year floods, right? And we've been having them about every year, like you said.
A couple times a month.
And sometimes twice a year, 3 times a year, twice in a month. So, you know, I don't want you to think that we're just like, okay, go on your way and hopefully it doesn't rain next year. You know, we are looking into this. And then as for throwing stuff away, you do get 1 free bulk pickup a month. And so all you gotta do is call it in, and then you put it out the day of your regular trash, and you won't get charged for that. And then if you have to do another one, just get a hold of me, and I'll see what we can do to get you another free.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've done that before where, and the Board of Public Utilities won't have an issue with it, that if somebody calls in and says, hey, I gotta get stuff out of my basement because it backed up, we'll help you out.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
The other thing is the backflow preventer. Our house and our neighbor's house, our line is under 1 tap in the sewer line, is what we were told when it was
Which
originally
possible,
built.
that's
And
another
it's
thing we've been running
under
into.
their driveway is where it's tapped, so they come together in a Y under their driveway, then it goes to the sewer. So where would you put the backflow preventer?
That's
At the
prob-
sewer, or on, or
I
like
would-
in our yard where
I mean, if I'm paying to put it in, I'm gonna put it on my feed. The only thing is, that's gonna make his situation.
Well, we have another issue,
Yeah.
which maybe we could, if we block and just backflow ours, and then it goes into their basement, they have rerouted their sump pumps to go into the backyard, which
Which
then
our backyard is a bowl,
flows
so it
into our
fills ours
yard.
about 4 foot deep of
we've
sewage
had to
water.
cover the 4-foot fence.
We've had it come up to the bottom
And
of
then
our
have sewage
trampoline.
water then in our backyard, so
Yeah,
if we
that-
fix that, then we've got
Yeah.
that, and we made multiple calls to
I mean, if,
officials who said, well, we can't help you with that, that's a, so it's just, we can cause another problem by.
Yeah.
does it totally go through their driveway once it's joined and then taps
That's
into?
That's what we were told, is that when they, I don't know who looked it up, but they looked it up before when we were having this problem, and they said it wied together, then it went
Stays
out.
underneath
So
their
it's under
driveway?
their, like, their skirt of their driveway, I guess, is where it Y is connected at, I think.
Is it their driveway?
It's their driveway, yeah.
Maybe work out a deal where you put that in, they can pay to fix their driveway. I
We have
don't
yet
know
to
what to
get
tell
them
you.
to even buy a flexible post to run it to the front and not run it in the backyard, so I don't
Yeah.
know how.
Yeah.
There's no ordinance here that you can't pump water in your neighbor's yard.
Yeah, all right.
Well, just the fact that, you know, for 40 years, we know the history of the house, for 40 years, there was no more than a puddle around the drain. There was never a sump basket, nothing, no pumps, no nothing. And they never got more than 3-foot puddle, my grandparents, so I know. And then 20 years ago, right after we bought the house, is when we had the big floods. And then that got remedied, the city did some hammering and fixing the lines, so that was great. And then, but 14 years later, here we are again.
What did you say your address was again?
106 North Madison.
Okay.
So just trying to nip it before it's
Yeah,
gets
no,
too bad again.
we completely understand, and I'll send our
18
street
inches
department out to take a look and see if maybe there is some kind of blockage, and hopefully that's it, and we can jet it out, and it'll help, because we also have issues where people put their grass clippings and stuff into the street, and then when it goes down and then we can catch blockages, so, but I'll have my street guy come out and take a look at that.
Yep. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I feel your pain. This last flood, I lost a hot water heater. So I feel your pain. It is really bad. You get so much rain. I've never seen so much rain, and it floods immediately.
6.5 inches.
6.5 inches? Yes, quite a bit. All right. And glad to see Anthony Smith as well. He's joining us.
Sorry for my tardiness.
Okay.
I know he's gonna want to speak.
Okay.
He just walked in, he was late.
Okay, and we do have a form there for audience concerns. So after you speak, you just want to make sure to fill one of these out. So if you could come on to the podium and state your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes, please. All right? Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jerry Farrell. I'm a Fairborn, Ohio resident, and I'm here because I'm a veteran and an American. And I am involved with a couple of veteran organizations, and I have created a Purple Heart sign project. And I was certainly in your courthouse, and I seen the monument here some month or so ago, and I thought this would be an appropriate place, and I wanted to introduce myself to you folks here. I've already met the mayor sometime back, and I told him I'd like to come before you all and show you exactly what I've got. I've got a parking sign. It's the same thing as a handicap sign, I'd say. Same metal, same everything, and I'd appreciate very much if you all take consideration in maybe putting this up. I'm looking at around the courthouse someplace, and I know you've got a beautiful monument there that I got out of my car and stopped over and read and looked at it, and what I've got is this right here. So I'd like to present this to you people and see if you all would be interested in maybe trying to put this up on your street. And I don't know if you want to give me an answer, yes or no, or if you want to think about it, but well, I'd prefer a yes.
I'm a Vietnam veteran,
Thank you.
and I appreciate what you're doing. There's too many of them guys that get forgotten, and you got a yes vote from me.
Sir, I'm involved with the Dayton VA, and I'm a chairperson for outpatient clinic, and I'm on the advisory council for the Dayton VA. And most of the people that I deal with are Vietnam veterans. We unfortunately, like my father and my uncle, World War II veterans, they're gone.
Yeah.
A lot of the Korean War veterans, they're gone. Vietnam veterans, well, they're getting older, and I'm right the generation behind them, so I'm about gone. But anyway, I've got to know several Purple Heart recipients, and they've got to be some pretty good friends of mine. And a guy, he won the Bronze Star, and he's a Purple Heart recipient from Vietnam. He was a chopper, worked on the choppers there. And anyway, he was a Purple Heart recipient, like I said, and for the longest time, he never put the license plate on his automobile. And I said, Jimmy, why didn't you do that? He said, I didn't want people to think that I was special. Well, by golly, you are special. And that's one thing that really inspired me to create this project. I donate these signs. Personally, I have them made. So, I'd appreciate it very much. I'm very passionate about it from what people say, and they're right, I am.
You should be.
So if you all would take this in consideration, I'd appreciate it. My son there has got some pamphlets I had made up with some cards. I think
Okay.
there's 7 up
Yeah,
there.
we'll
I
take
just
those.
hit the lucky 7. So,
Thank you.
Alex, if you give it to this lady right here, maybe she can see to it that the folks will get that.
All right.
So,
Is that something we would need to vote on? or-
Sorry.
Do we have to take that and get it approved through the law director, or is there like an ordinance or
No,
a
so
certification?
he came and spoke to me, and he is very passionate about this, and I like the idea. I don't think there's an issue with taking up one spot for something like this, especially, you know, when you start talking about the courthouse and the DAV is in the courthouse. So I think it would be used, and so I asked him to write an email to me, because while doing this, I also want to be a good neighbor to the courthouse, so I was going to get that information and send it over to the commissioners and just say,
Right.
hey, this is what we're looking to do.
Right.
There's a couple ways that we could go about this. I believe that through Rex, we could, our Safety Service Director, Rex Castle, we could just approve a spot for this, like a handicap spot, but there might be a little bit of gray area. What we can also do to bring a little more light to this would be that we do bring legislation, and that we pick a specific spot and say, this is where this is going to be. And at that point, you know, it'll be in legislation, it'll be in the records forever. It will probably make a little bit of news in the Madison Messenger, and not only be able to do this, but also bring some light to what he is trying to do.
Right.
I think his idea is fantastic, that we do the last spot on Main Street heading south by the courthouse, which would be right by the Veterans Memorial, would be one of the pull-in spots. That would make it easier for someone with a Purple Heart who may be disabled, may not be, but may be, to be able to get out just like a handicap spot and go. And then also, it would actually probably help us a little bit with traffic flow, because it won't be used all the time. So that spot will be open, so when the big trucks turn, it would help that a little bit also. So if you guys want to set legislation to vote on it, to make that spot, I think it'd be a good gesture for him, for our veterans, for those who earned the Purple Heart, which is one of the most distinguished things that anyone in this country can earn. So I don't know, Rich, do you want to sponsor something like that?
You can sponsor, yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and then I think we can take it to committee, because what if we want to do more than one spot?
Yeah.
You know, we may discuss it and want to do more than one spot, maybe one on this side, one on that side. So I think it's definitely worth having the further discussions on it.
Yeah.
Definitely thank you for your service, thank you for bringing this to us, and thank you for the project you're doing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
well, if I could say that I have talked to a couple state representatives, and they are approaching the person that's in charge of the Veteran Service Offices in
Okay.
Columbus, to
Yeah.
see that maybe each Veteran Service Office should have one of these.
Okay.
You know, whether that materializes, I don't know, but I'm turning it over to a couple politicians to find out.
Okay. Well, it's
Can I
good.
leave this with you all?
Oh,
Most
please,
definitely.
please do,
Please.
yes.
Definitely, thank
How,
you.
sir, how much are the signs apiece?
Well, they gave me at a reduced price.
Yeah.
They said they did anyway. $30 a piece. So, and I've given away about 30 of them, I think, something like that.
Okay.
So what I'm asking is, could we buy more?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
What I'm asking is, could we buy more than one?
If you want more, ma'am, I'll make sure you get every one that you want.
Okay,
Sounds
And
good.
the only thing I ask you folks is, when you put them up, let me know.
Okay.
I'd like to
Okay.
come back in your locality. It takes me about an hour to get up here, but it's a trip well worthwhile. My uncle was a Purple Heart recipient. He was wounded in action in the Marines in World War II. So that's another.
Could we get a picture with maybe you or something and him, so maybe we can give that to the Madison Messenger? And I mean, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Get it out in the
I agree.
community.
I know my son wants to take a picture of you. We're gonna put this on my Facebook.
Maybe- maybe
I won't
Amy-
put words in your folks'
I
mouths for you.
forgot, I
but-
forgot this is your social media.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So, this I'd like to present to you and trust you to put it up. And if you folks would like to have another one, I've got some more in the vehicle. I'll give them to you, proudly give them to you. So, come on, son, do it good. got it? We'll get one. Watch out.
All right, thank you.
How many would you all like to have?
I think maybe just one for council. We'll keep it,
Okay.
and we'll
So I'll
bring it to our
another one
committee
and
meeting
give
and
it to you.
be able to
Yeah.
display it.
I can give up.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Amy, if you could put that down.
Maybe get a copy of that to, maybe,
Thank
maybe-
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe share that with the, Pat, maybe share that with the commissioners too, picture. Let them see that. All right, well, we definitely appreciate him. A lot of the veterans are forgotten, but that's a really nice gesture that he wants to make there, so we want to support that. All right, on to our committee reports. We'll start with Mr. Peters.
I have none.
Okay. Mr. Robinson?
I have none as well.
None? Okay. Mr. Hayes?
Okay, it's a safety committee meeting on August the 10th. I'm going to give the police data. Mr. Hitt will give the fire data, and Mrs. Blazer will give a lot of other things that we took down and talked about in the meeting. In the process of selecting an applicant from the most recent test for patrol officer, currently have one vacant position with another opening expected by the end of September. Been working with CSC on possibly offering lateral entry as an option hiring method, as they're struggling to find qualified candidates. Participated in an OVI checkpoint conducted by Ohio State Patrol with no arrest or notable incidents. That's great. Hosted a national night out on Tuesday, August 3rd from 5:30 to 7:30 at Cowling Park. Several area agencies and organizations joined efforts to connect with the community. It was lightly attended compared to previous years with approximately 120 visitors. Thanks to Dairy Queen for donating ice cream cups and Madison County Prosecutor's Office for the monetary donation. Had two cruisers damaged in separate incidents. One was slightly damaged by somebody backing into a pole. The other incident resulted when a civilian driver pulled out in front of an officer. That vehicle sustained moderate damage to the right side doors. Body shop in West Jefferson is currently effecting repairs. Generator failed, and after several attempts to fix the issue by the service company, it was determined that a new unit should be purchased. The repair cost had mounted to $2,300 for a 40-year-old unit. In the process of getting estimates for a new unit. And that's basically, there's some stats here, which I won't go into, but that's it for the police. Next safety meeting is 9/14/21 in the conference room.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Hitt?
I attended the safety committee meeting also, and I'll give the fire chief's report that he submitted for August. They had, as far as the EMS training, they conducted sports-related injuries training. For the fire workers, they conducted aerial ladder placement and operations training. They continue to have new hire orientation. They participated in the Rhythm and Rib Festival. They had a fire safety talk and touch for a fire truck for Verizon and Mandy's daycare. They had a station tour for MRDD group. They participated in a Keep Us Safe Week, and they provided services at the Madison County Fair. That's it.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Blazer?
At the Public Safety Committee, we talked about the Safety Service Directors working to raising your ability to cover your own lot that you own by 20%. This will save time and aggravation and money for residents because they won't have to file for variance through the zoning and commission to be able to put additional buildings on their property. We did discuss the Kroger lot. But the city sent a letter to the owner of that parking lot. He did go out and fix a great deal of the parking lot itself, but not the driveway coming in. It's still got some,
I did notice that that has
Killer.
been filled in with chip seal, I think.
It's been chip sealed.
oh, that was
Yeah.
since I was there a couple of days ago.
I'm sorry, I should have caught you.
The street department has received the signs about the light removal, which is what we've been waiting for to go on with that project. We have to have those signs up prior to us changing or removing any lights. We also talked that we also had added in to this project where we still have the lights, that there'll be push button walk signs for pedestrians that, or the ones that we do have will be fixed, so they work properly. We discussed that basketball hoops in cul-de-sacs, there was some public issues about that. We felt that that is a current ordinance, that's okay, and we decided to leave it that way. And then we did discuss the bicycles on the sidewalks. According to our ordinances that we already have in place, bicycles are allowed on sidewalks, or are supposed to be on the sidewalks, unless it's in a business district like South Main Street, and East High Street, West High Street, where you're supposed to be on the roadway at that point. But they are supposed to yield to pedestrians, play nice with pedestrians. A audience concern brought up a issue with people going into McDonald's, blocking Union Street, so you can't travel through that road. We're gonna continue to discuss what we can and can't do about that situation. And the fire department received their EMS training equipment grant for $2,500 from the State Division of EMS. And that would be for, that money comes from seatbelt tickets. And then at the Finance Committee, which the next finance meeting right now is scheduled for September the 6th and at 4:30, but that is also Labor Day, so I would assume that we'll be moving that date to a different date since it's a holiday. We will be talking about, you see I've got a lot of resolutions on for new business, and most of that is what we did, discussed at the meeting. We also discussed your guys' grant, which I'm sure you'll talk about for the new water meetings. The auditor has the books up to date through July. The director of the tax department did give us a total of what taxes that we have collected and comparing them to last year. And and remember, last year, we didn't pay taxes till July 15th. This year, we had a little bit of leeway, but not that much. So that's what we've been kind of looking at to see how we're doing this year versus last year. And although this year's total was less than last year, or this month's total was less than last year on the tax department or the city side, the overall difference is we're still ahead of the game by about 14% on the city's income and about 22% on the fire department's income. So we're very relieved to see that we have at least the money that we had last year to work with. So like the treasurer, she reported on a new system that she has that is working well for her. And like I said, the rest of what we discussed will be in the resolutions that I'll talk about later.
All right, thank you very much. And Mr. Smith?
Most everything I have will be in the legislation. The next BPU meeting will be August 26th, 6:30 here.
All right, thank you very much for all of your reports. I just want to also comment on the equipment that the tax department has and the auditor has. That new program was money well spent. They talked about how they can create programs, any type of, or different reports, any reports they need. That the system is so efficient, it can do that, do a really good job. Let us know exactly where we're at, so. All right, on to city official reports.
Good evening, and thanks to everyone for coming out. Once again, I do want to apologize for missing the past 2 city council meetings. As you guys know, on July 15th meeting, I was in Columbus attending the Ohio Public Leadership Academy for elected officials. This week-long academy was held at Ohio State University's John Glenn College of Public Affairs. I've been to a lot of conferences and a lot of trainings, but this intensive week-long event was by far the best thing I've ever attended in that kind of area. The things I learned about myself and how to be a better leader, the education that I received, and also the connections I made, I think will greatly benefit me as I lead this city, as well as the community itself and the things that I'm going to be able to bring. So I do want to thank the Ohio Mayors Association for nominating me to be a part of that, and then also John Glenn College of Public Affairs for accepting me to participate in this highly exclusive academy. So, and then the meeting on August 5th, I had to help set up vendors for the London Rhythm and Rib Fest. If you were not able to come down, you guys missed a real good time. Wonderful weather, the bands were great, and the food was delicious. So I do want to thank the Rib Fest committee, the participants, the volunteers, the city employees, and everyone who came out to the event. It was nice to have some normalcy back and see all the community come back together and see smiling faces and people just coming together as a community and enjoying a good time. You know, besides all the great times that were had, we were also able to help raise a little money for some groups like the Mary Mac Miracle Project, as well as LABC, the London Area Baseball Council. So all in all, everything went pretty daggone well. There was also a bunch of rain that weekend, as there's been about every weekend. But for some reason, it kind of just split around us, and we had about 20 minutes worth of just a light drizzle compared to Columbus and West Jeff were just getting pounded at the same time. So everything went great, and just want to thank everybody for making that possible. August has been a busy month so far. We did hold our National Night Out with our safety services at Cowling Park on the 3rd. It was a nice event for those who did attend. They did have a wonderful time. That same day, we had our community build with the London City Schools administrative team to erect the dog park amenities that you guys so graciously purchased. With the help of the London Street Department, we were able to get all that equipment up, which included the 2 tunnel runs, the walk-up structure, a jump, and then the tug-of-war feature. So from the videos I've been seeing online, I also got a great video from Igor, and Officer Combs were out there. Seems like all the dogs are out there having a real good time on it. I don't know if you guys have been able to get out there and take a look at it, but I drive that area quite a bit, and there's a lot of people using that dog park. There was a lot of people using it before, and it seems like even more now. So just glad we were able to get that equipment up, and I appreciate the London faculty wanting to help us and step in and help us build it and make it go a little bit faster. You guys spoke about this a little bit, but you can see that there are a few pieces of legislation that does deal with the East Side Sewer Project. We've been working very hard on expanding these lines so we're able to bring in more housing and more businesses. While in this extensive progress, you guys understand that these different grants and things just pop up, right? You know, all of a sudden they're there and they go, hey, if you want this, you need to fill this out and get this back to us, you know, and their government, which makes me laugh because they understand that sometimes we can't just say, okay, let's fill this out and be done with it. We have to get approval to do these things. So, you know, a lot of these things that they have in the past, you know, they don't give us a lot of time to get this done, but, you know, we have to move fast to get our paperwork in to be able to apply for these free dollars. So I'm excited for this project, which will bring more housing to our community and help grow our community in the right way. So school has begun, and I do want to wish all the students, parents, faculty, and staff the best of luck in the 21-22 school year. It's great to see all the pictures on social media of all the smiling faces as all the kids went back to school this week. I know they're excited, and I just hope that they all have a great year and we can get through this year. So, don't forget that National Bow Tie Day will be August 28th, and City Hall will be closed for that national holiday.
Not.
And no, seriously, City Hall will be closed August 28th for National Bow Tie Day. That day is also the same day as the Madison County Expo, so the Safety Expo, which will be held at the fairgrounds. It's a Saturday. Yes, it is a Saturday, Carla. So the Madison County Safety Expo will be that same day, August 28th, at the fairgrounds. It's a great event for the community, and all the safety services will be out there, and the kids can go out and look at fire trucks and get in them and do all this stuff and police stuff. And there's just so many different providers that show up to present there. EMA does a great job putting that thing on, so that does start at 10 a.m. on the 28th. So, with that being said, now on to the MoLo Fun Fact, which is number 24. It might be a little less than 24, but in 24 hours, the London Red Raider football team will kick off its season at home against St. Mary's. So I want to wish them the best of luck, and then also all the other school and recreational sports that are going to be played this fall. It's great to see sports back, and not just back, but growing. I spoke to Superintendent Dr. Lou Kramer the other day, and he was in Mr. Wolverton, and they were talking about how much participation is up at the schools. I mean, I think he told me that there's 12 on the girls' golf team. I mean, things are just growing.
It's like 15.
15, is that what it was? And
Last year, there was 5.
yeah, so all the sports are growing, which is a good thing because it gives an outlet to these kids. And not only the school sports, but, you know, our recreational sports do a great job for the youth of the city. So, you know, I'm always a big proponent of getting kids out and getting them active and giving them something to do. We all know about idle hands. So when those idle hands are real tired at night because they've been at sports all afternoon, it's just good for everyone. So just glad to see all that's back and that it's growing and everybody's ready for the sports season. So best of luck to not only the football team, but to all the fall sports, that they have a great season. So does anyone have any questions for me?
How many bow ties do you have?
I have over 30, because I said if I had to wear a different one every day of the month, I'd be able to pull it off. So, yeah, so
Okay.
make sure, if you need to borrow one on the 28th, or anyone does, just let me know. I'll get you guys one.
All right.
Like I said, City Hall will be closed.
I do not need one, thank you.
Hey, you bring that ascot back out. Bring that ascot back out, Henry. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. All right, on to old business, Resolution 18321, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 18321, sponsored by Rich Hayes, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a collective bargaining agreement between the City of London and the London Firefighters Local 3509 IAF.
Okay, last council meeting, we went into executive session on this for about 45, 50 minutes. I think we discussed it pretty thoroughly. So we just need to get this passed so we can get this done. Are there any questions about it tonight from anybody? If there's no questions, I'm going to ask if we bypass the 3 reading rule.
Can we get a second?
Yes.
A second.
Second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Pitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right, and a roll call for adoption. Or can we get a motion to adopt?
I make a motion to adopt it.
And a second.
Second.
Did you get that, Andy?
Yeah, I get second.
Okay. Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right, 18321 has been adopted. New business, resolution 18521. Motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 18521, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is very exciting legislation, getting the new water meters. This is one of the biggest complaints I see online is when we have to estimate people's usage and then it catches up the next month. Let me just give you an example. This was not a water deal or a deal with the city, but the church, the month of July, our electricity bill was estimated, so it was $350. They were way off, and so we got $1,300 bill this month. So, but that doesn't affect us. But anyways, it is definitely can see the frustrations. There's a lot of great things that are coming with this. This is just continuing the process, moving the money along or where it needs to be so they can continue to do their job. If anyone does not have any questions, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule for 18521.
Once these are purchased, how soon will they?
Well, as fast as possible. We've been doing everything to give them permission to get with a firm, to get them installed and everything like that. So I don't have an exact date of how fast it'll go. I mean, I could estimate, but I don't.
And that'd be hired out, I mean,
Yes, it'll be hired out, yes.
What will they do with the old meters and holes in your yard?
I don't know what they'll do with the old meters. I don't think there's much usage for them. The older a meter gets, the more it slows down, which causes revenue and then makes them even more ineffective. I don't know if we can see about recycling of them or something of that nature, I would assume, so.
do you know what that's gonna entail? I mean, for the installation, are they gonna have to get in houses
Well, if you have a meter in your house, yeah, they will have to get in your house, yes. Yeah, which we do which is interesting. We do have residents that their meter is inside their house. Yeah, so. But,
So this is not a loan, it's appropriation from the fund?
well, this should be an appropriation from the loan, is what it should be.
Yeah.
Am I correct on that? Yes. Yeah, because they've already, BPU did a great job. They went for the grants, they got their loan. This is one, it's like 30 years, isn't it? At 0% interest. I mean, BPU they did their due diligence, so. We just need to, this is the money, it's here, we just need to move it into the account so that they can continue to do business.
Yeah, this will be 700,000 from water, 700,000 from sewer, and then this will, as Anthony was talking about, the reimbursement from OPWC will come later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we have to spend it first to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay. And they reimburse whatever we spend?
Yeah, it should be the full amount, right?
That's good.
So, and then there is just a small issue. As everything in the world right now, they're waiting on a computer chip,
Oh, yeah.
for the top component, but they feel it will be in very soon. She talked to me this morning and said that it's not backed up too much right now, but just like
Yeah.
everything.
BPU did a good job. Because I believe the grant that they got, the free money is covering the installation. So,
Yeah, that's when we went through the Ohio Public Works Commission. You know, you guys were all part of that, and then, is there 0% interest loan, right? And then the
Yeah,
0%
same,
interest
yeah.
loan also from Ohio Public Works Commission, which, you know, that's the whole thing with the whole county, where we all gotta work together and take our turns, and so all the other entities were kind of stepped aside so we could go after a big portion of that year.
yeah. Any further questions?
All right, and we do have a motion, right?
I'll second it.
All right. Clerk, please take a roll call for suspension.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
All right, 18521 has been adopted. On to Resolution 18621, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all right. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 18621, sponsored by Carla Blazer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is a resolution, the police department just received a $1,000 donation from the prosecutor's office. And so that goes into general fund. We're asking that it be moved to the police department line. As you heard, they've had some expenses for their generator and are now having to look at purchasing a new generator. And so that's why we've made it a emergency, so that can help them with that project.
All right, any discussion? All right, what are your wishes?
So I'd like to make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
I'll se-
Second.
Okay.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt.
Yes.
All right, 18621 has been adopted. On to resolution 18721, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 18721, sponsored by Carla Blazer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This resolution is for donations that we received from the public for park benches. They're $750 a piece, and you also get a plaque put on it and with whatever you want to say on it. So since we've got the money, we want to be able to spend it for those. And anybody can buy a park bench for $750 if they would like and have a plaque put on it with their name on it or a memory of someone. So if you're interested in that, you can contact Amy, and she can help you with that purchase. But we need to order those so we can get them in and have them installed before winter for the 2 people that did purchase benches.
Okay.
Could I say one thing real fast?
Yes.
First of all, people are loving these benches because they were put in fantastic spots, and I believe there's 4 of them now. But I've also heard and seen people saying that, that they're so expensive and this and that, and I feel that people may think that this is a moneymaker for the city, which it is not. We are not making any money off of these benches. That's just how much these things cost, right? It's not just a bench from a big box store that you put together and bolt together yourself. These are high-quality benches that'll last a very long time, and that is how much they cost us to get them in. It doesn't even count the, what's that?
The city pays for the cement to install them, the plaques to put on.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna
the-
say.
the
It
labor.
doesn't even take the time and effort that our street department's using to put these things in. So just wanted to make that clear that this is not a fundraiser. We're not making money off our citizens. We lose a little bit by doing each one, but it's a great thing for our community, so.
So I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer.
Yes.
All right, and a roll call for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
All right, 18721 has been adopted. On to 18821, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 18821, sponsored by Carla Blazer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Unfortunately, this is going to be an emergency measure also. We need to move money from the police department's budget to their police pension fund. It is going to run out this month, and is what makes it an emergency. We plan to move a extra amount, so we won't have to do this again anytime the rest of the year. So that's why we're moving 75,000, and if it is not all used, then we can move it back to where it came from.
Any questions on 8821? Okay, what are your wishes?
I'd like to make a motion to make this an emergency, or suspend the 3 reading rule.
All right,
A second.
second. Clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt it?
A second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
18821 has been adopted. 1-2, Resolution 18921, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved?
Second.
Second, all right. Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 18921, sponsored by Carla Blazer, a resolution increasing appropriations.
This is about, $540,934.47 that we received from the American Rescue Plan Act. We didn't know how much we were getting until they let us know, but then also to collect it, it has to be already appropriated. So not to lose out on that big of a chunk of change. It's kind of like COVID money, only from a different source. So this one's gonna have to, we're asking that this one also be an emergency because of that. And so, I'd like to make, if anybody has any questions.
Now, is there certain things this money has to be spent on?
We qualify under the lost revenues portions of that, so we really pretty much spend it on whatever we need. Way more lost revenues.
So that money's to recover lost revenues, so we can basically use that for whatever we would like. Your microphone wasn't.
I don't get it for, okay, yes.
Thank you. All right,
So I'd like to make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second?
clerk, please read the, or please take the roll call for suspension.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt it.
A second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Resolution has been adopted. On to Resolution 19021, motion to read by title or number.
So moved?
Second.
Second, all right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 19021, sponsored by Brenda Russell, a resolution increasing appropriations.
I was at the meeting, and I remember Brenda saying that she was going to sponsor it, but I did not write down what it was for.
It's
The
a
30,000.
grant for the charging stations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
That the, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so this is the 30,000 for the charging stations, which will be reimbursed. This is something we've been working on for a while to get the electronic vehicle charging stations. Amy kind of spearheaded this and headed this up for the city to get these. So yeah, it's 30,000, all reimbursed.
all right, and where are those charging stations going to be located?
Amy, you want to take this? This is kind of your baby.
Sure. One is going to be in the public, well, three of them, sorry, in the public parking lot across from the post office, diagonal from the post office. That
Okay, on second?
Yeah, second, no. Two will be in the parking lot. There'll be one station with ports on both sides, so you can drive up to it, and one's going to be along the road there, a single port, so you can drive up to it on the road. We were going to do just two single ports, and the price just went way down, so they called us and said, you could probably put more in for that $30,000, which is what we did. We put one more in. And then at Cowling Park, right by the train there, those first two parking places are gonna be for the double port EV stations.
And citizens will pay to charge their vehicles, is that how it works, or?
Right now, no, we don't have any plans of charging. It's a 5-year plan for the grant. The software that's in it will record how many people use it. We can charge, and we can switch that at any time, and it keeps track, and we can set the price, but we don't have any plans to do that right now.
All right. And let's see here, so do you want to suspend this and pass this to receive the $30,000 grant money?
Make the motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
A second?
Second, all right. Clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
Make the motion to adopt it.
Second?
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer.
Yes.
All right, 19021 has been adopted. On to ordinance 19121. Motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second?
Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 19121, sponsored by Rich Hayes, and ordinance vacating an alley.
Yes, this is between 136 McLean and 140 McLean. This area runs parallel with Virginia Avenue. It's actually been an alley at one time, but from what I understand, there's grass growing over it now. It's not been used in many years. All the people who abut to the property have signed off on it for the vacation of it. All city departments have signed to do the vacation, except street department, they reserve easement rights for storm sewer. Ohio Edison's okay, BOPU, water's okay, BOPU sewer is okay.
Okay.
Is there currently storm sewer going through there? Do you know, Rex? There is.
Have the easement?
Okay.
I'm going to not be able to vote on this because this is my son who put this in.
Okay.
So I do know, this was kind of a last minute thing that happened as he was trying to sell his house. 10 years ago, when he bought the property, there was no mention or no worry about this alley being there. The alley is actually mostly his driveway that's asphalted,
Okay.
and it's completely grass. You cannot tell that there even was an alley in that property. And then, so this time, then they're selling it as, it was kind of a last minute surprise, that they're asking for that alley to be vacated.
Okay. And that's what we found with several alleys here in the city. They're overgrown. Some of them have structures on them, and you can't even tell that they were actually an alley, or they're just not used at all. So I would like to see those come in. And what are our wishes here?
We have
We
to have
have
a
to have a-
public hearing on this.
Public hearing is, we would have that 30 days out, will be 9/23. We'll schedule it for, what's that? October 7th? Has, what? For the 23rd? Okay, now that's, is that weekdays, not counting the weekends? Or- You said October 7th.
Public hearing.
October 7th, public hearing set, 30 days out. All right, and we'll get a notice out for the public hearing. All right, on to Resolution 19221. Motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 19221, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution authorizing the BPU to advertise for bids.
This legislation here is just for advertising for bids. This is just getting the ball rolling. This shouldn't be spending any money. This is just advertising for bids. Does anybody have any questions? We just need to get the process rolling. Obviously, somebody's going to have to come in and, look at all this, to make sure it's right for the EPA. So if no one has any questions, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the three reading rule for 19221.
I'll second it.
Second, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes,
Peters.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
so moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
All right, the motion is adopted. On to Resolution 19321, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 19321, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution authorizing the BPU to apply for and accept a grant from the Ohio Department of Development.
This legislation here, kind of explains itself, but to apply for a grant. Now, right now, I talked to the law director about this. If this turns into a matching grant, it'll come back for us to be voted on. So as of right now, we're making it possible for them to receive free money. That's all we're doing.
Okay.
So,
And what's the grant?
well, this part of the grant for the $1 million should be for the work and everything to move forward. The next one's going to be for the engineer. So, but as we see the city grow, and we've got to be moving forward and making it possible that more homes and things like that can come in, so. But like I said, this is not, this is for them to only receive free money. If it comes back as matching is the only thing they apply for, then it'll be brought back to us.
Good evening, Anthony. Good explanation. These funds for this resolution and the next one are part of House Bill 168 funds passed down by the federal government. Ohio received $250 million to be spread against or across 88 counties. And there are two components. One is engineering, which is up to $250,000. The other one is construction, which is up to $5 million. And these are in grants, and they may be matching fund grants, as you so mentioned. We've been advised that we should probably only apply for one of the two. We're seeking passage of both this evening so that we can apply with the county engineer on Monday. We'll probably look to apply for $1 million in construction financing costs, which will be matched, not with our funding, but with EPA funding. Okay, so we're seeking EPA bids as well as far as seeing what they will provide to the city. So the first one is up to $5 million in construction. We're going to apply for $1 million. And the rationale here is that the county, Madison County, is open to West Jefferson, Plain City. Everybody's vying for these dollars. And so, we don't want to appear to be too greedy. We'll throw our name into the hat and what we felt was reasonable.
And you guys know, when grants, available money comes up, we have to get on it.
Yeah.
And apply for it. And unfortunately, it'd be nice if we could, go through three readings, take our time, wait around, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. So if we do wait, essentially, we could, citizens could miss out on a lot of free money, which I think would not be good. And again.
As he said Monday.
Right, yeah,
This is what I was talking about earlier. They just.
right. They come up and,
Here it is, and I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Is this for the water meters, or is this for something?
No, this is completely different.
The east side sewer.
Oh, okay.
You said this is House Bill 68, correct?
168.
168, okay. It wasn't ringing a bell, but okay, now it's ringing a bell.
Have you guys been in talk with everyone else to see if everyone's going for the $5 million that's available?
Well, we got together on a Zoom call a couple weeks ago to discuss this with the county engineer. They, for whatever reason, they put the 88 county engineers in the process here to stack rank all the projects, much to their dismay because the engineers have no part of the funding. So it was decided amongst all the municipalities that, okay, we're not going to be greedy here, to keep the number of requests down so that there'd be a fair and equitable amount of dollars, divided amongst those who are requesting it. Believe me, everybody on that call has a request. Everybody needs something. So I'd love to submit for $5 million and would love to get it for the city, but that's not practical.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to make sure that if it's available for a whole county, that it's all being requested, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right, and
Right,
this
they're
is,
all
this
fair
is the
chance
same
to-
thing, this is why
Yeah, I'm just-
this is why I started the Madison County Mayor's Committee. It's the same thing with OPWC, like, we don't wanna slit each other's throats in the county because we know what is good for West Jeff is good for the county is good for us. What's good for us is good for Plain City. If we all do it right and all work together, we can, be able to get the most amount of dollars. So, like Steve said, we're not gonna say everybody's gonna go for a $5 million project and then something mess up and nobody gets any money. So if we all try to take a small portion, we're hoping that the state will say, okay, you all can have your piece.
It's
right?
all going to be requested.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I was
right,
asking.
yeah.
I knew we had to play ball with everyone. I
Yeah,
was
right,
making sure
yeah.
that nothing was left
Yeah.
out.
Well, that ain't the way it used to be.
Yeah.
That ain't
Well,
the way
fair
it used to be.
enough, everyone,
10 years ago, they would all go after 5 million and just hope and pray and
Whatever you got is whatever you
Right,
got.
yeah,
Gotcha.
so.
All right.
Yeah. If there's no further questions, I'd make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule for 19321.
I'll second it.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes,
All right, and a motion to adopt.
So moved.
second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes,
Hitt.
Yes.
19321 has been adopted. On to 19421. Motion to read by title or number.
so moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 19421, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution authorizing the BPU to apply for and accept a grant from the Ohio Department of Development.
This is basically the same thing with the last grant. If it does turn into matching, it has to come back to us. But we want to make it possible for them to work this out to the best of what's going to be the best for the city in getting these funds. Originally, this was set up for trying to get the cost to cover the engineering firm to do the project. So, does anyone have any questions? Good. Okay. Then I make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule for 19421.
Second.
Second. All right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes,
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
So moved.
second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes,
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
19421 has been adopted. On to Resolution 19521, a motion to read by title or number.
so moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution R 2021-95, sponsored by Henry Comer, An emergency resolution to accept the material terms of the One Ohio subdivision settlement pursuant to the Ohio Memorandum of Understanding and consistent with the terms of the July 2021 National Opioid Settlement Agreement.
Okay, Rex Castle, he gave me, he and I discussed this, and it hasn't gone to a committee, but this is another one of those where money's going to be available, and you need to request it immediately, or you'll miss deadlines. The deadline for this, I think, was the 13th. However, there is another deadline that you could take after that if your municipality maybe hasn't had a chance to meet or anything, but we didn't want to, run into any situation where we may get less money. So he went ahead and applied for this, for the opioid, and I've taken a look here at the executive summary of it, and it's basically covering the opioid situation. It says nationwide settlement has been reached to resolve all opioid litigation brought by states and local political subdivisions against three largest pharmaceutical distributors, McKesson, Cardinal Health, and AmerisourceBergen, and they're the distributors. And the manufacturers, Janssen Pharmaceutical Incorporated, and its parent company, Johnson & Johnson, collectively J&J, says these settlements will provide substantial funds to states and subdivisions for abatement of the opioid epidemic across the country and will impose transformative changes in the way the settling defendants conduct their business. If proposed, the settlements are fully adopted by states and subdivision nationwide. So what this would mean is it says the distributors will pay a maximum of $21 billion over 18 years, while J&J will pay a maximum of $5 billion over no more than 9 years, with approximately $22.8 billion in settlement proceeds payable to state and local subdivisions. Of the funds going directly to participating states and subdivisions, at least 85% of the funds must be used for the abatement of opioid epidemic, which is the overwhelming bulk of the proceeds restricted to funding future abatement efforts by states and local governments. And if this is, once this would be approved, they're looking at funds to begin to flow into states and local governments as early as April 2022. So that's pretty big there. So I'd like to, give a big kudos to Rex for catching that and for going ahead and applying for that, because if so, this is really a substantial thing that could help our city out depending on the amount that we would receive in that opioid settlement. Rex, do you have anything to add? Okay, well, thank you very much. Does anyone else have any questions further? All right.
Emergency.
Yep, so I would make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule.
I'll second it.
Clerk, please take a roll call for suspension.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt. Make a motion to adopt.
I'll second it.
And clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
All right, 195-21 has been adopted. On to Resolution 196-21, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Just a moment.
I think we have to go back. I don't think you can.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, because
You're not a voting member. I know it's your piece of legislation, but you're not a voting.
okay, I got, so let's go ahead and redo this one just in case, and because we don't want to mess this up at all. So let's go ahead and let's get a different motion to suspend the
moved.
3 reading rule.
I'll make the motion to suspend the 3 reading rule on 195-21.
There we go.
No second.
Okay, and clerk, please retake the roll call for that.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay, and then let's get another motion to adopt.
I'll make the motion to adopt it.
A second.
Okay, and clerk, please take another roll call for adoption of 195-21.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
All right, and then we'll also get clarification on that too in the future from the law director, just to make sure. All right, now on to Resolution 196-21, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 19621, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution requesting financing from the Ohio Water Development Authority for design associated with the City of London Sewer Trunk Line Project by the City of London, Madison County, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, so this one is a little tricky. I had to speak to the law director on it. This is not a loan. This is not a loan. This is to see about our finance options in procuring the loan. Am I saying that correctly? Yes. So this is not a loan. We're not giving them the authority to get an $825,000 loan. This is only them working with the OWA to work out to get a loan for the project. So different types of financing, things like that. That's all this is.
Anthony, you did state that correctly.
Okay, thank you.
In order to apply to the Ohio Water Development Authority, you have to have council approval. It's just seeking out what they will allocate, if anything, to the city for the project. So these are for engineering costs, for construction oversight costs. So the soft costs that accompany any major project like this. So we're just asking for permission to apply to see what they might allocate or grant.
So this is just for the design though, right? And
Not the
engineering?
design,
No.
the engineering costs.
Yeah,
And other soft costs, like construction oversight,
yeah.
okay?
So once that is done, and then the construction cost would probably be, what, $10 million?
The entire project is right around that number. And so this is all preliminary to see what kind of grant money, free money we can get, low interest, no interest money we can get. And then the third step of the project, which we're having all kinds of help with, is submission to the EPA to find out what they will allocate towards the project. All right, so we're still in exploration mode right at the moment. All of this will come together within the next 30 to 45 days. We'll know all the numbers, all the details, and then we'll be able to come back and really talk seriously about the project.
Yeah, we need to see our loan options, and we need to see what free money we can get before we look at moving forward with the project of that size. So, does anyone have any questions? I'll make a motion that we suspend the 3 reading rule for 196-21.
I'll second it.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
And a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Hitt,
Yes.
Laser,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Russell.
You said Russell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Robinson,
Yes.
Robinson.
Hayes,
Yes.
All right. 196-21 is adopted. On to round table. We will begin with Mr. Peters.
I failed to mention earlier, public service meeting will be September 1st, 1 PM. That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Robinson.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Steve, thank you for coming out and explaining everything. Just know everyone needs to understand we are trying to work with the flooding issues because it's happening everywhere. I know not the only ones that are addressing it. It's being addressed quite often by a lot of different citizens. So just know we are working at it. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hayes.
I'd like to thank all city employees for jobs well done. Amy, can you pull that picture up for me? I just want to show everybody, I don't know where you've seen this, but I want you to see this picture. This is totally unacceptable for the city of London. It looks trashy. It gives us a bad look. It gives us a bad name. And I don't know whether we can do anything about these boxes. I know there was some legislation on them a few years ago, but, you know, we've got so many churches here in town now. We have a help house. We've got a couple other things. I don't know. This just really, I saw this Sunday and I just exploded. You know, we're working hard to,
Rich, this was Rex's baby. So
Yeah,
Rex should be
can
able to
talk
get
about
on
it.
that.
Yeah,
There's
we,
case law.
when I was on council, we did adopt a resolution to require these people to register with the city, and they are not to be within so many feet of thoroughfares. They're not to have more than two. I mean, there's a lot of stipulations in that legislation. We just got to enforce it, and there is penalties involved if they don't abide by our rules, so.
And it actually began as city council wanted to get rid of them and not allow them within the city limits, but there was case law to where a municipality did it, and it went up the chain to either a state Supreme Court or a federal Supreme Court, and the municipality lost, and they had to let them into their community. So that's when we found that out. Then it pivoted to what Rex was talking about with all these stipulations. There's a couple tough things with it, and one of them, you know, if I could send the trash truck out tomorrow, I would, but that's private property, right? These sit on private property. I know if I was a building owner or a business owner, and this is what was happening at these things, I would call for somebody to come clean it up, but that's me personally. So there is things in place. Amy has been in contact. The law director is also contacting them to say, get out here on a regular basis and pick this stuff up. Because this stuff comes out and then it's all rained on, and so it's not worth anything anyway. And the other thing is that, you know, citizens need to be better. When you
Amen.
see this doesn't mean throw another bag on it. When you see it, this is not for couches. This is not for refrigerators. This is not for old tires. If the clothing bin itself, it says it's for clothes, is full, then take it somewhere else or put it back in your garage for a few days. Don't do this to our community. The citizens need to be better. That whoever did that is shame on them.
I like to
Shame
know
on
who
them.
did it, because if there's got a camera there, they should be fined severely. They should be made to come out there and clean that up themselves. That's a disgrace. And I'm sorry I'm upset, but that, you know, that's laziness, and that's just being, I'm gonna just play it out and tell you, that's being trashy. And there's no excuse for anybody being like that. And I'm gonna shut up right there. Thank everybody for listening to me, and God bless you all. Thank everybody for coming out tonight. We appreciate your inputs. Have a safe trip going home. Be blessed.
All right, on to Mr. Hitt.
I'd like to compliment the administration for applying for grants and saving the city a lot of money in various ways. I know it costs a lot of money to improve things, and I'm assuming the citizens would appreciate that grants are being applied for, so, thank you.
All right, Mrs. Blazer.
I would just like to remind everybody that, as Pat said, kids are going back to school. Just be mindful of that. They're not sure, maybe not be sure what the route is, where their bus stop is, how they're supposed to be getting on the bus and crossing the street. So just kind of be aware, keep your eyes open for the children as they're kind of learning how this process works this year. Also, I agree with Mr. Hayes. There's many places that you can donate clothing, anything you want. They're begging for donations. And this is not the way to do it. Also, I enjoyed the presentation by Mr. Farrell about the Purple Heart signs. I was asking about cost because I was interested in purchasing one myself to have put up by the city. We have a number of places where we can put them, put one at, because I think it's very important that we recognize our veterans at every opportunity. I come from a family, a lot of veterans, including my father and my brother. My mother's family was the Gold Star family, so this makes it, kind of near and dear to my heart.
All right, thank you. On to Mr. Smith.
Just like to thank Mr. Steve Lelonic for coming out and answering questions, helping us on the legislation. BPU's doing a great job. Then I'd like to say good luck to London Red Raiders. Then come out to the Safety Expo, August 28th, 10 a.m. It's a great event. And then, of course, thank you to Mr. Farrell coming out. I think it's a great idea, and, it's great to see people doing things like that. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming out with the audience concerns tonight. Thank you for coming out. All right, Mr. Leilonic. All right, thank you. And, it is good to see that we're applying for grants to get some grant dollars in, because there's quite a bit of grants out there. There's lots of opportunities. Unfortunately, sometimes when we find out about these opportunities, it's at the deadline, because it's almost as if they put the information out there right at the deadline. So it gives you maybe a week or so to apply for some of these things. But it's good that we're on our toes and able to catch some of these and take advantage of some of the opportunities that are presented for our city to help us to grow. All right, if there's nothing else, a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Hopefully Colton.
I don't know.
We're gonna tell him.
I've seen him a couple times.
How do you forget his helmet?
Oh, this is Colton. Colton,
Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate you.
All right.
We'll see you.
we'll see you guys.
That's good.